What's going on, guys? Building Chaos here with another Satisfactory video. Hooray! And today's video is going to be a lovely little tutorial on mega bases. So I showed you guys how to do this lovely little compact mega base. Something small, unique, something little, easy to maintain and whatnot, not a lot of power. But in today's video, I want to show you something similar to what I did over in the desert area. One of those giant mega bases. The one that I just showed you, I just had a tour for and everything. I want to build something like that, and I want to show you that the steps that I take in building something like that and come up with something, cool and unique at the same time. So strap in, get ready, because we're going to go on adventure, and you're coming with. Roll the intro. Alright, so before we begin, I want you to find a good open space, a place to which you want to build, a place that looks amazing. Now, I chose up here in the nice desert area just to show you that you can build anywhere. I know most people choose the upper right-hand corner with that big open desert area just because there's a lot of space to build. Also, the southern area, the starter location where the open green fields, a lot of people choose that as well. It does look very good. I showed you can build a place on the coast, man. It looks phenomenal with the, all the good water and everything like that. Nice blue landscape, but it's up to you. You want to pick a location that you like to go to, that you think is awesome, because you're going to be looking at it for quite some time. Alright guys, one more thing. In this example, I'm going to try and use just concrete and iron plates for the majority of it, just to show you that you don't need too many different items, just a lot of the same items over and over again. But when we decorate at the end, that's when I'll be using a lot of different material. Alright guys, step number one is building a base, an area of which you're going to start your whole base on, your ground floor, so to speak. Yeah, step number one, build a base. Step number two, make it mega! No, anyway, so you want to start off with like the ground floor. You want it high enough so that you can expand on it if you want, and basically build it out. And in this example, I went for a square, but then I added squares on the edges, figuring I could do something, cool with that. And this is like one of the most important steps, because you want a large enough area that if you're going to build up, you can go smaller if you need to, because you're not really going to be able to go bigger. Everything's going to be on this area. This one, you basically just want a solid structure, something that looks cool, something that looks like it's going to hold it, and try to plan out exactly how you're going to have this. So like, let's say I want my trains coming in here, and here, we'll do this. So like, my trains are going to come in here and go around into like a big circle and kind of, come off and all that stuff. Maybe these corners that are over here, I'm going to use these to make supports, or an item elevator, or a staircase, or something like that, Look at architecture and how stuff is actually built out. We'll give you a lot of examples. Like, if you looked at my mega base that I had, over there in the distance, from my last video, you'll notice that I went with a rectangle kind of approach to it, and I cut out things, I got smaller as it went up, but the base at the bottom is solid. And building out the base, definitely just play with stuff and see how it goes. Like, don't just build something like, this, and it's like, oh, I'm just going to build all this, just all straight going down. No, like play with it. See what you got going on, and have a lot of, what's the name of it? Concrete on you, because you're going to need it. So, like, maybe I want it to go like this, and I'm building out the base, da-da-da-da-da-da. See, something like that all across, but, give it some flair. Like, a lot of people playing Minecraft know how to do this. Like, you want a little, not randomness, but a little opposition. Basically, to give it that kind of, oh, it's a little bit different. Not everything is exactly the same. Not to mention, you definitely want an odd number. So, as you can see here, just this one section here is an 11. Alright? So an odd number gives you that entrance from the center kind of thing, especially with way doorways are, because you can't really have a double doorway or anything like that without just like deleting walls and having it wide open. So you want to have that kind of stuff as well. You want it to be odd. You want it to be crazy. Here, let me build up the bottom of this, and then I can give you an idea of how, like, I would take this and turn it into something bigger. Well, it took some time, but I did it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the base. This is the solid platform that's on the bottom. Look how it looks like a nice, big, strong structure. I got support beams, but all this is for decoration. Like, none of this is actually needed. You know, I add, like, walls or stuff like that to, you know, break up the color and all that kind of stuff. Shut up, bitches. I got a little doorway down here in the bottom as a place to enter. So let's say I want to have railways are coming in. I can have like a railway that goes here and goes off into each one of the exits or whatnot. Or if I wanted to, I could have them like right here in the middle as well going off, you know, splitting up and going around. And everything is basically just a solid base. And like, here's some kind of cool ideas that I was doing on this. Is I added these little like wings or structures, supports and whatnot, and I just kind of put them there as like, you know, these help hold up the structure of the whole building. It adds to the aesthetics and everything like that, and you'll see these in like tons and tons of different buildings, all that kind of stuff, especially with like older buildings or grander buildings. And when building something like this, you're gonna want, you know, it to look like that, so you're going to want to add in all those extra things. And as you can see here, even if you're doing the same pattern, you can throw it off by just adding in something like separate, like maybe just a little bit higher using like, oh, what's the name of it? Like smaller platforms or something like that, and then just having this thing like stick up one bit higher. It comes off and really shows up the difference in levels and, you know, how you can change things up. And these are like the kind of cool things that you can do to add like, oh, what's the word to it? Kind of like character to your base, you know. I had this coming over, now instead of this being a flat wall, it kind of curves over into it, you know, kind of little extra stuff like that. Having like one of these little quarter pipes, and then having the quarter pipe corners, but the opposite one kind of gives it that little like, you know, more aesthetics and stuff like that. Not to mention, one key factor in building this stuff is make sure you think of the landscape that's out here as well. So as you can see, I got this nice little like river that goes through here. Well, I shouldn't have to get rid of the river. I mean, this river is a good aesthetic to have. You know, why get rid of something like that? It looks great and it works out great. So having that open in the bottom really kind of feels like this is built into the landscape and it's not just something that I just, you know, shoved down here and said, this is where you are now. And as you can see, I put a bunch of these nice little like, you know, pillars and everything out there to kind of plan out how I want the structure of the building to be. Like, I'm looking at this from all angles as I build it, but I'm also building it one step at a time so that I'm not overwhelming myself. And the great part about this is, so like when I built this, I started with this area in the center right here. Like, okay, build it out. All right, how does this look? All right, that's good. Then I'm like, okay, so now what to do with this piece, you know? By building it in specific sections, you're not overwhelming yourself with a giant mega base. You're basically building sections at a time. It really helps make it manageable and very nice. But that's going to be step number one. You want to build out your entire base, make it a nice shape, pay attention, and make it odd number and all that kind of stuff, and plan out it going forward. You know, make it look cool. All that good stuff. But anyway, let's get to step number 2. Alright guys, step number 2 is an interesting one and a fun one. See, what you're going to be doing now is you're going to be planning out the floors, okay? So as you can see in this example, I built up one floor and I was building up these struts right here for holding up the edges. So like this area is either going to be like, you know, a strut, or it's going to be like like a staircase or an item elevator or something like that. I'm trying to plan ahead and trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing there. But I also want to just do the same shape going up. And this one's pretty cool because I'm like, okay, it's not just going to be this one floor. I got to have this floor, and then I got to have, like, I don't know, a couple more floors above it. What am I going to have on each floor? And the best thing, the best possible thing you can do is when building these floors is you're going to actually plan out what's going to be on floors as you go up. So like this first floor, it's going to be my train station. So I want the train stations to be able to come in from each of the corners, figure out a big circle thing that's going to go around here. And how is it going to go up? Where is it going to go up? It's going to go up in these item elevators. All right, the elevators are going to go up in each one, all that good stuff. So basically, the way to think about this is a standard floor, you want to put 4. Just 4 not platforms. 4 foundations high, the big foundations and all that kind of stuff. If you're building anything with trains, you're going to want to go up to 6. In the old one, the new ones that they updated seem to be a bit shorter on the top, so they kind of fit out better. But if you're going to build a standard one, like you're going to build foundries or, you know, all that good stuff, you only have to go up 4. I hit one extra one. My bad. So regular one's 4. 6 will be for, let's say you're going to do, you know, the trains and everything. 8 high is going to be for something like a refinery. So where's my production? Refinery. So as you can see here, I'm going 6 high, and it can't fit a refinery. But look how close that is. So 2 more higher would be nice and perfect. What your best bet that you can do is, if you want to, you build a floor, then build the ceiling to it, then do the next floor, build your floor, build a ceiling to it, build a floor, build your ceiling to it, you know, so on and so forth. Just plan out where you want, say, the item elevators to be, the staircases to be, and all that good stuff. If you want to build out the entire mega base before you do any of that, I do understand. It doesn't make it look good. It kind of, you know, gets you excited about doing it and everything. And, you know, there's always that fun stuff of just building a giant building, even if nothing's in it. So here's an example of going to the extreme without planning, but kind of planning. So I did this as a kind of example, using an area actions mod to kind of like, you know, copy paste and whatnot. But like here, I would be like, okay, I want this to be my first floor. But then if I wanted this to be something like refineries and something like that, where's back in production, if I wanted this in refineries, I'm like, oh crap, I have to delete this floor, and then I messed up because I have so many floors that are messed up going afterwards. So it kind of hurts you to have something like this, but at the same time, you know, I do understand why a lot of people actually end up doing this. That's why I love, if you stick to the 6 tile floors for like the big stuff, like, you know, maybe I know that the first floor is going to be my train station. The second floor is going to be where I have all my boxes and stuff like that. You know, this floor is going to be where I have stupid machinery or whatever. But having these 4 floors are so perfect and work out a lot better. Because let's say that I had 2 of these 4 floors, and I'm like, okay, I'm building this. Oh, I need to switch over to refineries. By just deleting the 1 floor, I don't lose that much extra space, but I can get refineries. And the best part is, if I get refineries like this, and then I build out the floor over here, I can have, like, you know, smelters or something, and, you know, assemblers on the top. I can utilize this to my advantage by having the 2 4 floors into 1 just for part of it. So the 4 floors, oh my god, that is so hard to say. The 4 floors are so much beneficial that you can do a lot of different things on them. And that's why they work out so well. But if you're building like manufacturers and stuff like that, you might want to stick to the 6th floor. Because let's see, the manufacturer, let's see how big this puppy is. I mean, it runs pretty close, but this also gives you plenty of room, especially when you're going to do all like the load balancing or all the belt work for it as well. This doesn't really give you much leeway in what you're doing. But, you know, it still is possible, so there's that. But anyway, that is step number 2. Is planning the floor. It's how you're going to do it. And trust me, it's not a bad idea to just, you know, do 1 floor at a time and don't worry about doing something crazy like this. Even though it's not this big and grand when you're building it, you're still building it right. All right, on to step number 3. Alright guys, we're on to step number 3, building up the walls. Now, I go with a different approach when it comes to building out walls than most people do. If you're used to seeing like any other YouTuber or any other Satisfactory player, pretty much, you can tell that their walls don't look like this. Mostly, you're going to get this. You're going to get a solid color going all the way up and down, and it's basically going to look like a block of color. Oh my god, what am I, drunk? I can't seem to hit the wall correctly? Maybe I should have built this out beforehand. No. So anyway, normally what you're going to get is you're going to get something like this. It's going to be a block of color, and they're going to be like, yay, it looks amazing. Wow. Yeah, I don't build like that. One of the things, there is a benefit to building like this if you know how to do it the correct way. So, if you ever seen I Am Kibitz, I mean, who hasn't, am I right? He knows how to build it the correct way. And that is that you're going to use slight amount of different colors, and mostly it's going to be the steel ones, next to it to kind of emphasize the big block of color. What I like to do, if you've seen my base and everything, is I like to do the overarching detail. So when you're up to it next and close, you can actually see it and you go, oh my god, this looks amazing up close. But when you look from it from a distance, it's going to look a little bit different. But Kibitz has shown us that there is quite a different approach to doing something like this with the block of color. See, what you can do is you can make the block of color like this, going all the way up top, and by having the struts on the side, you know, or the different, what is it, like the steel ones and everything like that, or even just having, like, if you take this away, alright, and we build something like, I don't know, just a solid foundation going across. I'll get this right, sure. Even something like that, having the solid foundation like that, really breaks it up. And the best part about this is that if you look at it from a distance, it doesn't look so bad. It's not a solid color. It's basically the shape of like one of these frames, like one of these walls, if you saw it from a distance. So as you can see, that big block of color really kind of pops out, but the other stuff kind of just blends in together. So it depends on which way you want to go with it. So like a big build like this would probably benefit from having both kind of things. And I'm going to build it out and I'm going to show you guys real quick what it would look like if we had this block of color, like maybe just in the center. You know? Alright, so here we go. As you can see, it looks a lot better having that nice solid strip of red, but it only looks better from afar. So if I was looking at my base from, like, say over here, I'm like, yeah, sure, it looks great, compared to, let's say if I was looking at this side, because this is an actual square, it all looks the same. See how all this kind of blends together, where that one kind of, you know, like, really pops out. It's up to you what you want to do. And granted, you don't really need, like, solid structures like this going up and down. Like, you can also, you know, try and figure out ways around that. So, let's say I go into my foundations. Ooh, here. And then we'll do this one on the bottom. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Oops. So, let's say I had something like that, and then I had that going all the way up and down. That would be a lot better and a lot more in-your-face, or a lot less in-your-face kind of thing. And it looks great from a distance. It really does. But like when you come up to it, you don't really get to see that form of oomph, that form of detail and everything. And it's up to you on what you want to decide. I recommend a mixture of both. Like having these detail on the end over here looks really great, and then having like in here the solid color. And even if it was something like, let's say I'm gonna put the train station going here. So, you know, I could just, like, delete this, and then that's going to be my train station. That little opening right there is going to pop. Or maybe I want to take, where's the walls that I had? Like, maybe I want to, you know, get rid of this, and this one, probably this one too. And maybe I want to put this going all the way across it like a strip. you know, maybe I'm going to do that from layer to layer and have that going across. Or maybe just have it like there and there, but the solid red going all the way up the center. Like, just play with it and see what looks best to you depending on the base that you build. Each build is going to be different. Each build is going to have its own, like, you know, characters, its own little stuff, nuances and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to want to see what works best for your base. There we go. And then just something like that. You know, it gives it a little bit extra. It kind of pops it a little bit. But definitely when you look at it far, that solid red really kind of just... It's just like a... It's looking so good. I'm loving it. I'm going to do this... Actually, I'm just going to leave it on the front right here for now. Probably finish up the rest so you can see what it looks like on there. But then we'll get on to step number 4. Look at that. Actually kind of looks cool. I love the red. I'm going to stick with just the red on this side and leave the other ones the way they are for right now. This building actually meant for other things, but, you know, I'm thinking this looks really cool. I like it. One of the best things about building that most people don't know is to try different things. Like, even though you think it looks cool, feel free to just save. Try something else you don't like it, just reload your save. No harm, no foul. Speaking of no harm, no foul, the next thing up is to go to step number 4. Step number 4 is basically adding little nuances, extra little stuff, kind of like decorating the place. Like, you see you got it, you got everything looking good, and you're like, well, what more can I do? Well, there's some stuff that you can add that doesn't really qualify for, you know, building the base or building anything like that. And this is usually what you want to do when you get to the end of everything. Like, you got, you know, time to spare. You got a lot of new items and everything. So, like, let's say I want this nice radio tower. All right, and we're going to put this right near. Come on. Get it going. There we go. And then we'll put another one right here. And we'll put, we got like 2 more over here. Another one's over there. You know what? We're just going to put them all the way across. There we go. That looks nice. There we go. So yeah, like adding like little extra stuff like that kind of really, like, you know, it really shouts out the base. It adds a little character to it. You look at it from different angles and you can see all the different stuff. You know, people underestimate these lovely radiator towers and, you know, what you can do with that. You know, all the little extra bits. Stuff like on top of here, you can take the specials and, you know, put an awesome shop, you know, just sitting on top of here. The nice bright glow from it will really shout out that. And even at night as well. I don't have screws or anything at the moment. And then once you get stuff like trophies and stuff like that, like maybe I'll put a trophy on top of here, pointing outward or something like that. You know, just build up the aesthetics of the place. You know, little bits here and there. Play with it. See what you can do. Even if I was to build, let's say I take a production and use a smelter. Everybody thinks of smelters as these things producing items. But what if I just take a smelter and I put it right here, you know? And then the smelter's like, you know, just sticking out. Man, I wish I had more material. Just something like that, just sticking out over here. Stuff like that really shouts out. I'm going to put up some aesthetics, and then you'll see real quick what I'm talking about. Haha! Yes. I might have turned up my graphics settings. I forgot that I'm not working on the giant mega base over there world, so I actually have frame rates to spare. Not to mention, I did add the same thing to every side because I love the way it looks. Looking good. Got all these little things over here. Put little biomass burners on the corner. I got the nice little smelters going on right here. Alright, we got the awesome shop right here at the beginning, which looks great, especially with the shadows and everything. They kind of really, you know, glow out and everything like that. But you can also see on sides that actually get sunlight, it does look good as well. Next up with doing the aesthetics is you definitely want to get the color gun. One thing about the color gun is if you go over here and you change the first one, you can change it to whatever color you want. I know, right? And once you do, the first one changes every single other color. Oh my god! So the reason why this is actually really good is if you change the first one to something, you know, really cool, like let's say I change this, we'll get that to black. That's what I did for my other world. But then let's say I pick, I don't know, like say this green color. You know, actually let's pick the blue color. So I pick the blue color, and then let's see, maybe I want these to be blue. You know, going around here and just kind of shout them out and stuff like that. It really is going to, you know, find ways of emphasizing, making stuff pop and whatnot. Definitely hit up these awesome shops. And it gives that nice two-tone color and whatnot. And then that way, if I ever change it back, or I can do like maybe groups of colors. So like maybe I want this one blue, and then I might change the blue to a green, and change this back to a red or whatever. You know, stuff like that. I mean, the color gun is your best friend when it comes to designing a mega base, because then you can really emphasize the look of your base, especially whatever biome that you choose. So this biome is like an ugly orange color, and one of the colors that really shouts off of an orange is going to be the blue. And here's the best thing about it too. Like you could actually do, like, let's say I do these solid colors a different color and leave the rest of it like say white or something like that. Then, you know, I'm doing myself a favor. I'm doing, you know, I'm just playing with it, seeing how it goes. This step is really fun, kind of tedious depending on how much stuff you want to change color. I recommend leaving big blocks of it into a certain color and just doing like little stuff like this into groups of other colors. So let's see, get my coffee cup. And then, yeah, so it's looking really good. Maybe I do want to change the blue ones. What should we change it to? What would look good? Let's see, let's edit this. Maybe lighter blue? See how that goes. Yeah, you want to update? Yeah. Lighter blue, not so much. Ooh, let's try purple. See, and they can just play with it and stuff like that and see what looks good. Maybe a purple on that. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe change the white. You know, I'm going to play with it around, see what I come up with. Maybe keep the red. I do like the red color. That's always been my little thing. Been blue and red, so give me a second. Let me see if I pick one that's good. All right, guys. We did it. This is it. This is a mega base. Well, an idea for a mega base anyway. It's stuff like this. You build stuff like this over and over again. You try it out, you see what looks good, and then you get something you like and you just go nuts with it. And I believe a lot of you guys can do stuff like this as well. I did stick with the white and the red. I thought that was kind of cool. Can change it up anytime that I want, which is really nice. Great thing about that and all that good stuff. But the great thing about this is it's kind of like a power plant or a battery or stuff, and then like as you get higher, you could basically change it up in however way you want it, and if you need to go higher and all that good stuff. But otherwise, that's going to be it for today. I really hope this does help you out. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, you can hit me up on here. You can hit me up in my Discord. That's always fun. See me as I build this stuff on Twitch, and let me know what you guys think. You know, is this good? Did this help you out? Is it stupid? You know, let me know. Thank you. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me get a chance to build more stuff like this and sound like a regular YouTuber with stuff like that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hooray, so I can clap. But anyway, guys, you have a wonderful day. I will see you later, and enjoy. Bye-bye.